watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at 4. Thanks for having us in on this Tuesday.
Nice to see you on this Tuesday. A little cloudy, but it's nice and mild outside.
Yeah. We can handle it.
Yeah, we'll get a check on the weather in just a second. But first at 4, as the federal government shutdown continues, 2 Wisconsin organizations are teaming up to help residents.
News 3 Now's Jalen Banks is live at the event to show us. Jalen?
Currently at SSM Health South Madison campus. Today they're partnering with Second Harvest Food Bank for a fresh produce giveaway. You know, this comes at a time where many, not just in Wisconsin, but across the country are preparing, for losing their SNAP benefits. Here in Wisconsin, it's not referred to as SNAP, but food share instead. But today, families on Madison South Side are able to come on out and get fresh seasonal produce for the fall and winter time. So we've got carrots, we've got potatoes, you name it, all at a time, again, where people really need food and items that they need during this time, during the government shutdown. I had a chance to catch up with SSM Health on the importance of today's event.
When we first started advertising this and sending it out to the neighborhood and to our community partners and area schools, it was overwhelmingly positive that we were doing this and bringing it out to people and not making it easy to access food. Since we started the event tonight, we had some people in line waiting for us to open, which was really awesome to see, actually, and also really devastating that people are waiting because there's lack of access out there.
Now, today's giveaway lasts until 6 o'clock again. SSM Health South Campus for those that want to come on out and get some fresh produce for the season. Again, at a time where many people are in need. Now, if you are looking for other resources, we have a list of those on our website. You can just head on over to channel3000.com. But for now, reporting on Madison South Side, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
All right, Jalen, thank you. Way to do something good, SSM. What good for you. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul has joined a coalition of 22 attorneys general and 3 governors that are suing the Trump administration over its decision to suspend food share and SNAP funding during the ongoing federal government shutdown. The lawsuit seeks to force the Department of Agriculture to use emergency funds to keep supplemental nutrition assistance programs going. Kaul says about 689,000 Wisconsinites, including children and seniors, rely on food share each month, and a funding lapse would hurt families, grocers, and local economies across the state.
We cannot allow Wisconsinites to lose access to food share benefits when there are resources in place that can be used to keep this program running.
The Trump administration says emergency funds are not legally available because they have not been appropriated.
In the past week, 2 communities in our viewing area have protested potential AI data centers moving in.
But Janesville and the town of Vienna aren't the only areas in our state that are getting interest from companies like Microsoft. Ellie LaLiberte is here now to explain a little bit more. Ellie, for people who aren't familiar with this, what are these sites?
Well, data centers, kind of like your phone or computer, store and compute data, but on a much larger scale. Now, part of the reason that companies are looking to Wisconsin is because these facilities use a lot of water to cool down all of that hardware. Today, I spoke with Clean Wisconsin, an environmental advocacy agency, and it says the Mount Pleasant and Port Washington centers alone will require the same amount of energy needed to power 4.3 million Wisconsin homes. And while that organization is concerned, others say that bringing in these companies is an unprecedented opportunity for growth.
If a lot of data centers are coming here, how is that impacting our Great Lakes? And so when we start to understand how much energy, for example, these data centers, these AI data centers are going to use, I think it's starting to raise some red flags.
They do create significant amounts of taxable value within the community, more so than any other single project possibly could in this day and age. Another potential positive is the jobs.
Clean Wisconsin also argues that there is a lack of transparency from companies about just how much energy these will use to power themselves. Now, Microsoft, however, claims that its facilities like the one in Mount Pleasant are designed sustainably to eliminate waste.
We'll continue to follow it. Ellie, thank you. Let's get a check on the weather now. A little cloudy outside. There's some rain to the west of Madison on the radar. Is it going to reach us?
We'll
It's going to
find out.
struggle. It's going to really
Hi,
struggle
Alex.
high there. Yeah, a couple showers out here. I'm zoomed right in here on street level, Shullsburg, right on County Highway O in the intersection of County Road A. You see green out there, so you'd think some raindrops are making it to the ground in Shullsburg. We go up the road here into Iowa County towards Mineral Point along the old highway road that runs through downtown Mineral Point and, well, just west of downtown Mineral Point. Couple raindrops there as well. But as we zoom on out here, we have winds that are coming in out of the east. And what I'm showing you here, 41 in Lone Rock, 43 in Boswell, 44 in Platteville, that's the dew point. That's a measure of moisture. That is very, very dry. So these showers are really struggling to make it to the ground. And will it get to Madison? Well, at least through as we go through, let's say 7, 8 o'clock, a lot of those showers staying concentrated over parts of southwest Wisconsin. But when I come back in a couple minutes, we're going to track this weather system through tomorrow morning. I'll let you know if any of these showers are going to scoot their way off to the east and try to get areas as close to us here at the station in Madison. A little bit on the wet side. I'll have that answer here in a couple minutes.
Thanks, Alex. 5 people died and about 100 others lost their homes after a deadly apartment fire in Milwaukee last May. And now Wisconsin lawmakers are pushing new legislation to help prevent future tragedies. The Democrat-introduced proposal would create a $10 million state grant program to help landlords install fire sprinkler systems and allow local governments to require sprinklers in older buildings. Supporters say the systems save lives, while opponents, including Assembly Speaker Robin Vos, argue new mandates could drive up housing costs. Next on Live at 4, we are learning more about the impacts of Hurricane Melissa as it makes landfall in Jamaica.
And Josh Sprider is in the 608 and wants to thank you for being a friend at B-Rock, how the local business is paying homage to Sophia, Rose, Dorothy, and Blanche, our favorites.
I know, my kind of place. And then Alex is back with the first warn forecast with drier weather that is raising wildfire risks.
Plus, we break down the growing costs of deploying the National Guard around the nation, what Guard experts say about the unprecedented domestic actions.
News 3 Now, live at 4.
We've been talking about the Golden Girls the entire commercial break.
A daily occurrence, actually.
Yeah, that's true. In the 608, B-Rock is once again transforming into a special pop-up event to celebrate Halloween.
Josh Sprider is at its location on Madison's north side with a sneak peek.
We have a perfect way for you to celebrate Halloween as an adult, and it's happening right here at Beer Rock on Halloween night. Joining us today is Brian Carrevoux. Brian, good to see you.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, you guys are super excited. This is 8 years running that you guys have turned into a special pop-up event for Halloween.
Yeah, 8 years in now, we are becoming the rusty anchor from the show The Golden Girls. That is our Halloween theme, and if people want to be transported to Miami, Florida for an evening and celebrate the Golden Girls, they've come to the right place.
And who doesn't this time of the year, right? I love that you are in full costume today. You're starting to see some of that decor going up on the wall. What is it like for you to come up with these themes year after year for Halloween?
It's been fun. You know, our very first year, we became Moe's Tavern from The Simpsons. We got a great response. We got a great crowd, and we kind of said, I guess this is our thing now. And now we become bars or restaurants for popular culture to celebrate Halloween.
Oh, that is so cool. How do you come up with these ideas year after year? You have to get a little creative.
Yeah, I mean, we just think about TV shows or movies that have an iconic like bar or restaurant in them. And the rusty anchor from the Golden Girls was kind of the perfect idea.
Oh, that is so cool. And you have such a special community here on the north side. What is it like for you to continually have that community support behind you?
Yeah, it's great to have the north side support of our local business and other businesses here at the North Side Town Center. You know, it's not State Street, it's not Willie Street, but it's very community oriented, and we kind of like telling the north side that this is what your costume's going to be this year.
I love that. All right, so when can people come on out to check it out this weekend?
Friday, October 31st, Halloween itself will be open from 2 p.m. to midnight.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. And kind of cool that Halloween is on a Friday this year, a little extra celebrating.
Exactly, yeah. It's the perfect time for people want to, you know, the work week's done for them and come on out. We'll be here for them.
Awesome. Well, Brian, thanks for having us in today. We appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
And if you'd like to learn more about what's happening here at Beer Rock this Halloween, go to the story up on channel3000.com. On Madison's North Side, I'm Josh Breiter, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Josh. Now some incredible video from the U.S. Air Force Reserve's 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron, also known as the Hurricane Hunters. This morning, they encountered heavier than normal turbulence and were forced to turn back to their base. Despite being forced to return, the Air Force was able to share this jaw-dropping video. Well, Melissa has a well-defined 10 nautical mile wide-eye and winds of up to 185 miles per hour.
Boy, that video is remarkable, isn't it? And Alex is keeping a close eye on the hurricane. Where is it now, Alex?
Yeah, right now, it's just still over Jamaica, and now the eye is starting to get back out over the waters between Jamaica and Cuba, and just an incredible, still concentric circle here, indicative of a very, very intense storm with winds sustained at 145 miles per hour, still gusting at times to 175 miles per hour. The first warm weather team, we're thinking of everybody right now in Jamaica. Now, turning things around here, something a little bit on the more bright side here. Increasing clouds Halloween evening, a tiny chance of a shower, feeling a bit on the chilly side, but we're not expecting snow. We're not expecting alert day conditions for this Halloween like we did last year, where we had those blustery conditions and a little bit of snow shower activity. So nothing really spooky about this forecast, but I hope you have a good spooky time this upcoming Friday. We'll keep an eye on that forecast. There could be an isolated shower, as I mentioned, on Friday, a couple isolated showers in southwest Wisconsin, but these showers are few and far between. They're struggling because dry east winds are eating up those showers. They're helping to evaporate those showers. So unfortunately, not a lot of those showers are making it to the ground. And as I mentioned, will Madison get any rain? No, I don't think so. I think what we'll actually see as we get into the overnight hours, look at the clearing lines sweeping from east to west. We'll see skies clearing out, and then we'll have a sunny day on Wednesday, but it'll be on the breezy side. 54 on Thursday. That's the pick of the week here. Halloween, 52. Tiny chance of that evening shower. Don't forget, we turn back time. Right, Brady? We were talking about that last night. That's a song you can sing later. As we turn back our time here Saturday night going into Sunday. As we head into Sunday itself, highs up around 50 degrees, and then we'll stay in the 50s by day and the low to mid 30s by night. Classic November weather throughout the rest of the 10-day period. Speaking of that Packers game up in Lambeau Field, here's some better news. Yesterday, I thought we'd have some showers, but it looks like those showers may hold off. Just a tiny rain chance now, but still a touch on the cool side. So make sure that you have your green and gold jacket if you're heading up to the Packers game this upcoming weekend. And how about this? A beautiful sunrise here. Thank you, Candace and Mike, for sending us this photo. This is really gorgeous. We have some altocumulus clouds here. You can see the reflection of them and the sun in the lake or in the river that we have here from Columbus. And if you want to send us your weather photos, they always go out to channel3000.com. But then I'm happy to snag a couple here and there and show them on air. When you think of earlier me showing Hurricane Melissa, what a nice different way to end the weather here with this beautiful picture.
That is a beaut, Candace and Mike. Thank you, Alex. Well, for Packer fans, we're all still reveling in the win over the weekend against the Steelers.
But the win could have been by a wider margin if 2 kicks were not missed. Senior Packers writer Jason Wilde shows us the kicker situation.
If you were among the Packers fans who watched Sunday night's 35-25 victory over the Steelers and thought, maybe they should have stuck with that new kicker whose name I can't pronounce, you weren't the only one. Packers bringing back Brandon McManus after a 2-game absence because of his quadriceps injury, and he missed his first 2 kicks, a 57-yarder that was just short and a 44-yarder just before halftime that he hooked to the left. Now, question is Lucas Havrisik, his backup, who is still on the roster, a better choice? Matt LaFleur, the Packers coach, making it very clear earlier in the week that it is still Brandon McManus's job, and sometimes kickers just miss kicks.
Kickers miss kicks. That's what I can tell you. And fortunately, just came up short, and then, he just missed it at the end of the half. So it is what it is.
Nevertheless, it was noteworthy that when the Packers needed a roster spot for Christian Watson to return from the physically unable to perform list, they didn't move on from their second kicker. Instead, they released fourth tight end Ben Sims, who on Monday was claimed by the rival Minnesota Vikings. We'll have full coverage of everything Packers on our website, channel3000.com, where our Packers coverage is always free. And make sure you sign up for our Packers newsletter while you're there, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Thank you, Jason. Looks like a beautiful day up there.
It does. Yeah. You can see the sun. It looks good.
Coming up on Live at 4, air traffic controllers have missed their first paycheck during this government shutdown. We're learning more about how our nation's air travel is standing to the challenge.
And the Texas Attorney General is suing the maker of Tylenol under claims that it increases chances of autism in newborns.
We're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Let's see how stocks fared on Wall Street on this Tuesday. The Dow closed up 161 points. The Nasdaq climbed 190 and the S&P 500 gained 15.
The U.S. military carried out 3 strikes on 4 vessels in the eastern Pacific Ocean that were allegedly trafficking drugs. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said in a statement on X, the strikes killed 14 narco-terrorists and there was 1 survivor. No other details have been provided. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum expressed disapproval with the strikes at a news conference today, calling on the situation to be reviewed and all international treaties to be respected.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has filed a lawsuit against the makers of Tylenol. The lawsuit claims the companies Johnson & Johnson and Kenvue deceptively marketed Tylenol to pregnant mothers and that the medication is tied to an increased risk of autism. Kenvue responded in a statement saying Tylenol is safe and the company will vigorously defend against the claims. The lawsuit comes a month after President Trump publicly claimed the use of Tylenol during pregnancy can be associated with an increased risk of autism, despite decades of evidence that the medication is safe.
Well, people in Chicago are holding their breath for a Supreme Court decision that could allow Texas National Guardsmen on Illinois streets.
As soldiers wait for the decision in housing near Chicago, costs are adding up quickly. Marissa Sulik reports from Elmwood, Illinois.
This is where 200 National Guard soldiers from Texas have been stationed in the Chicago area. They were originally brought to protect federal agents and facilities. But until a legal battle is settled, the Texas troops remain here.
I haven't seen this. In my career, I never saw this.
Richard Hayes is a former commander of the Illinois National Guard. When we were on scene today, we saw soldiers running, walking, and training around the base. Hayes says that is what they should be doing.
When you have situations where your mission changes abruptly, where you're not doing it all of a sudden, you revert back to the plans of your training.
The base is set up with temporary living quarters and areas to eat. The 200 Guard members are here for at least 60 days, which they started about 3 weeks ago.
If they don't get their orders extended, they'll be released from active duty.
Hayes says these men and women have jobs back home they will go back to. But while they are here, he says it is still costing taxpayers millions of dollars. The cost to deploy National Guard troops vary by mission and size. In Los Angeles, 4,000 troops were sent to California for over 60 days. Congressional testimony estimated that cost is about $135 million. In Illinois, 200 Texas troops have been sent to Elwood. They've spent about 30 days so far, costing taxpayers nearly $3.5 million.
You're going to have to feed them and you're going to have to house them, so you have to hire vendors or buy food and have the cooks cook the food.
Whether the Texas Guardsmen will ever be deployed will depend on a ruling by the Supreme Court. No word on when that could happen.
Also in Chicago, a Border Patrol chief has been ordered to meet with a judge daily on the city's immigration crackdown. This after his crowd control tactics and use of force policy came under question.
And here's a live look at O'Hare Airport in Chicago, which joins every airport where air traffic controllers have gone without a paycheck. The Federal Aviation Administration has reported the first staffing shortages of the day today at Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson International Airport and Newark Liberty International Airport. They were both short-staffed this morning with air traffic controllers. Not every staffing shortage results in a delay, as controllers can reroute flights, but sometimes there is no choice but to slow planes down to maintain safety.
Well, still to come this afternoon on Live at 4, we'll hear some tips from local experts on how to keep your family safe trick-or-treating this year.
And the harrowing story of a man who died while rocking on stage and was brought back to life. The life-saving piece of equipment he's pushing for everyone to have.
News 3 Now, Live at 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at 4. Thanks for joining us today.
Good to have you with us on this Tuesday. We're coasting along weather-wise, kind of quiet and calm fall weather.
Yeah, we'll take it. Obviously, we're keeping an eye on Hurricane Melissa. It really makes you appreciate how lucky we are up here, of course.
It's true. Do you know anybody in Jamaica?
No, not that I'm aware of. You?
No. Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either.
Some other time, perhaps.
But exactly. But they're all in our thoughts and minds today. Let's take a look outside in our local area. Boy, the weather is nice and mild enough to take a walk. This is good fall weather as long as it's not raining. We were in the 50s today, and there is a little rain on the radar. Alex Harrington is watching the forecast. Do you think that'll get to us?
No, I think Madison, unfortunately, we're going to sneak out of this rainfall event. It's going to be slim pickings for the rain showers in southwest Wisconsin. And you said it too, Brady and Susan, temperatures in the 50s. Look at the next 10 days, 40s to the 50s. That's where we should be. We don't see any big temperature swings. No temperatures way above normal, no temperatures way below normal, and a little bit of rain chances in the forecast. Some of that is going to be tonight, and then another little rain chance as we head towards the upcoming weekend. But just keep in mind that these are small rain chances. When I come back, I'll use Future Track to show you the few communities that might sneak a shower or sprinkle tonight.
Thanks, Alex. We're bringing you breaking news right now. The Sun Prairie Police Department is holding a news conference right now in reference to a homicide that happened October 18th last year on Martin Street. Let's listen in.
In an incident that happened on October 18th, 2024, involving the shooting on Martin and Elm Street. This is a significant moment for the City of Sun Prairie and the Police Department because it took the great work of all members of the department to make this arrest. When this incident happened in October of 2024, the department got very few leads. Those leads, those officers took and worked those leads to get where we are today. Those leads led to the arrest of Zachary O'Connell, who is currently in the Dane County Jail for the charges of first-degree intentional homicide, first-degree reckless endangering safety being 2 counts. It would not be for the perseverance of all their detectives and everybody in the Special Operations Division to make this arrest. Anytime a shooting occurs in a city, it affects everybody. The residents near Martin and Elm Street, they were scared that night. They even contacted city officials asking for updates from October to present day. We did everything we possibly can to make sure that we provided closure not only to the victim's family of this horrific and tragic shooting in our city, but to all the people that live in that neighborhood. We as a community have to come together, and this is exactly what the City of Sun Prairie did. We want to thank the community, one, for their patience, thank them for providing us the leads, and providing us the electronic evidence that they provided in this investigation. The reason this investigation took so long is because we worked very few leads to where we are today. We took the electronic evidence and ruled out locations of where the suspect could or could not have gone. In doing so, due to the hard work of the investigative division, they developed those leads in identifying Mr. O'Connell as the suspect. We, as a department, are often tasked with many things. Crimes don't stop and they keep coming in. But as the crimes came in, they always prioritized this homicide investigation. Homicides are never closed until they're solved. And this is a prime example of the work of the individuals in this case to never give up. And this is our commitment to the Sun Prairie community. As we did this,
you have been listening to Sun Prairie Police Chief Kevin Warwick. He is updating everyone on a year-long homicide investigation. Sun Prairie Police have announced charges against Zachary O'Connell in relation to the 2024 shooting death that left 24-year-old William Flannery, a man from Brookfield, dead and one other injured. O'Connell faces charges of first-degree intentional homicide and 2 charges of recklessly endangering safety. We will bring you more on this developing story coming up in our 5 and 6 p.m. broadcasts.
A Dane County jury has acquitted Kimberly Gebhard, a former child care provider in Middleton, of child abuse charges. Gebhard, who previously owned Best Friends Daycare, was accused of causing a traumatic brain injury to a 4-month-old child in September 2019. The jury deliberated for approximately 3.5 hours before returning the not guilty verdict.
One person is dead after a crash on Wisconsin 60 in the town of Prairie du Sac last night. The Sauk County Communications Center was told about a 2-vehicle crash on the highway near the intersection of Ferry Bluff Road. This happened around 6 p.m. The early investigation suggests that a car was passing a semi when it hit an oncoming vehicle. The oncoming driver was pronounced dead at the scene, while the passing driver was taken to a nearby hospital.
Well, how about this story? While on stage during a performance at Gamma Ray, a local drummer experienced sudden cardiac arrest. An automated external defibrillator, or an AED, brought him back and saved his life. Rocker says he was playing a Black Sabbath medley before he almost instantly fell over from cardiac arrest. He says a very quick response, CPR, and an AED saved his life. Rocker hopes his story can encourage small businesses to buy an AED device because they do save lives.
There are so many resources, especially from the Madison Fire Department. They even now have a program where they loan them out, almost like library books for events. I've learned that survival is a very low percentage, and the only thing that makes it happen is CPR and an AED being close. And I don't think that people necessarily really take that, but you only have 7 minutes before really things go south if you don't get a shock.
Rocker is back on the stage and continues to advocate for increased access to AEDs at venues and is sharing his story to raise awareness about the importance of rapid emergency response.
I think the most important people is helping people get back to the things that they love. And I know early on in the course, he said, "Oh, am I ever going to be able to play the drums again?" I said, "Sure." I mean, and I think that, he's been doing very well.
UW Health says that's why knowing CPR and having AEDs in public spaces can help more people like Rocker get back to doing what they love.
Continue good health, Rocker. It's Halloween week, and while the kids are probably excited to hit the streets for trick-or-treating, doctors are urging families to make sure you put safety first. From pumpkin carving mishaps to falls and scooter accidents, that is an outstanding costume. The ER sees a spike in visits during this time of the year.
The one that people really don't think about is pumpkin carving injuries, where people are using sharp tools. Sometimes pumpkins can be difficult to carve, and it makes you want to break out the super sharp steak knives. We recommend that people use the safety saws that they usually sell in stores. Those are a lot duller. You're a lot less likely to cut yourself.
And Dr. Soltis also reminds parents, make sure you keep an eye on children and choose costumes that are easy to see in the dark. Go through all of their candy just to double check it. And about 3,000 ER visits happen every year, believe it or not, due to Halloween activities.
Yeah, we hope everyone is safe this year.
And has fun.
Next on Live at 4, Hurricane Melissa is battering Jamaica after making landfall today.
Local experts tell us what this Category 5 storm will mean for the island nation of less than 80,000 people.
And we take a look at our weather in our area in the First Warn forecast.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Well, for the very first time in our state, a baby was surrendered at a Safe Haven baby box.
The baby was safely and legally left at the baby box at the Racine Fire Station. Jenna Wells has the story.
The founder of Safe Haven Baby Boxes tells us this box behind Racine Fire Station 4 was used last week by someone to anonymously drop off a baby girl less than a day old. And the fire staff here acted quickly.
Well, I hope that people see that there's hope on the other side of the box.
A Safe Haven Baby Box was installed in Racine in December of 2024, the third in Wisconsin at the time. Less than a year later, it served its purpose.
This little girl is going to grow up knowing that she's got some grandpas and some uncles and some aunts at a firehouse that loved her before anyone did.
911 dispatchers were automatically alerted when the baby was placed in the box. It automatically locked, and staff from the fire station quickly took her to the hospital.
The average time for babies in our boxes are right at about 2 minutes. I think it was less than that for Racine. So this baby was not in this box for very long.
After surrendered infants are medically evaluated, they are placed in state foster to adopt programs.
I believe that the baby has already been released to the family that will be, having this baby for the rest of their lives.
Monica Kelsey founded Safe Haven Baby Boxes 10 years ago as a last resort, but a safe one for those who cannot care for a newborn. She hopes the first use in Wisconsin will bring more awareness to them.
We're not telling you to use them. We're telling you that if you find yourself in a situation that you need to use them, that this is an option for you.
And to whoever made the tough decision to surrender the baby,
thank you. Thank you for trusting us, and thank you for trusting the fire department to take it from here.
Right now, there are 7 Safe Haven Baby Boxes in Wisconsin and just shy of 400 across the country.
Kelsey says 70 newborns have been surrendered to Safe Haven Baby Boxes in the U.S. in the last 8 years.
Well, coming up on Live at 4, a simple drop box is saving lives. Oh, that's the story that we just did. Actually, we're going to have a preview. We're going to have an update on Hurricane Melissa. We're going to talk to Alex about where the hurricane is right now when we come back.
We're taking a live look at Fort McMurray in Alberta, Canada. The weather there is 33 degrees and cloudy. Fort McMurray is titled the oil sands capital of Canada, and this is interesting. It's only accessible by air or highway.
Oh, that is. The strongest storm of the year is slamming the Caribbean. Hurricane Melissa, a deadly Category 5 storm, made landfall in Jamaica earlier today and could trigger a humanitarian disaster.
Melissa is already responsible for at least 7 deaths in 3 countries. Michael Yoshida reports.
Hurricane Melissa, one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes in history, bringing powerful winds, dangerous rainfall, and flooding to the Caribbean.
There will be catastrophic damage. There is no infrastructure in this region, or maybe anywhere in the world, that could withstand a Category 5 hurricane without some level of damage.
The massive storm rapidly intensifying as it approached Jamaica. Warm waters helping fuel Melissa, which had sustained winds of 185 miles per hour Tuesday morning. This is the first Category 5 hurricane to hit Jamaica. Officials warning it's not just powerful winds, but also storm surge, sustained rainfall, and landslides that could be devastating and deadly.
There will be flooding and there will be infrastructure damage. We have 70% of our population living within 5 kilometers of the sea in generally low-lying areas, so the risk of flood is extreme.
More than 800 shelters opened across the island. Residents and tourists bracing for the worst.
They told everyone to pack in an emergency bag so that we will have that in all our important documents.
It's really overwhelming. We've never been through anything like this, and hearing the more and more updates and more reports and how it's getting stronger and stronger.
As the storm pushes past Jamaica, Cuba, Turks and Caicos, and other islands sit in its path. In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
The United Cajun Navy is deployed in Jamaica, preparing to offer aid and rescue operations in the wake of the storm.
And let's see where the hurricane is right now. Alex is watching it closely.
Hi, I am. Yes, we have access to tropical weather, just like we do severe thunderstorm tracking and tornado tracking. Right now, information before I show you a little bit more about what's going on with Hurricane Melissa from the dynamic standpoint. This is from the Cooperative Institute for Meteorological Satellite Studies. These are tropical researchers right here in UW-Madison with their information at landfall at 185-mile-per-hour winds, ties the record for the strongest landfall in the Atlantic Basin. That gives you the sheer value, the sheer extreme of how strong Melissa was at landfall. And also they have instruments that they drop through the atmosphere to measure wind and moisture and so forth. And they measured wind shortly, or just a bit off the surface, potentially upwards of 250 mile per hour wind. So truly incredible landfall. And what's happening now is we're seeing, as the eye has collapsed, we're seeing the wind field, the bright pinks here, expand outward, meaning that the hurricane force winds and those deadly winds are expanding further and further out now from the center of the storm, which is certainly not good news. Our thoughts are with all of those folks in Jamaica right now. Rain here, something totally different here. A very benign weather pattern here in southern Wisconsin, maybe 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch at most in far southwest Wisconsin. A couple showers, Platteville over towards the just south and west of the Waldwick area, over towards the Gratiot area, up towards Boscobel. So just few and far between showers here in southwest Wisconsin. You're probably even wondering, well, Alex, we know it's dry. Why are you even showing us this if we aren't going to get a whole lot? But I want to let folks know southwest Wisconsin, you could possibly get a sprinkle or two. I think that 1/4 to 1/2 inch is going to be overly optimistic because we're going to have dry air come in off the east with this weather system moving to our south, and then that's going to clear out the skies as we head into the overnight period, with 55 for that high temperature on Wednesday, 54 on Thursday, 52 Friday. Halloween, at this point, I think it's going to stay on the dry side for the most part, maybe just a sprinkle on Halloween night. Turning back the clock Saturday night and that Packers game, I think we might have a couple of showers, but overall right now that looks like it's going to be on the dry side. And then as we head out into next week, temperatures are going to be very typical for this time of year. Stick around, live at 4.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
If you're excited for Christmas, this one is for you. The annual Santa Cycle Rampage is returning to Madison on December 13th.
Yep, it's an event put on every year by the Wisconsin Bike Federation, a nonprofit promoting bicycling education. Hundreds of Santas, look at all these people,
Wow.
elves, reindeer, Ralphies, and Grinches will jump on their bikes and take a festive 7-mile slow ride that starts and ends at Breeze Stevens Field. Registration for this is open now. Again, it's on December 13th. Just go to wisconsinbikefed.org to sign up.
This is such a fun city.
I
love seeing those things.
It is. And for us, all is quiet in the weather department. How lucky we are.
How lucky we are when we think of what's going on in Jamaica. Nothing of that caliber anywhere close to Wisconsin. We have what I say very benign weather for this time of year, for late October and November. Temperatures in the 50s by days, 30s to 40s by night. I think Halloween is going to turn out just mighty fine when we think about past years when it has snowed on Halloween. And then as we head out into next week, again, staying very normal for this time of year.
Very nice. All right, thank you, Alex. We'll be right back.
Homicide from 1 year ago. Well, thanks for watching Live at 4 today. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. You can always catch us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3